Hello and welcome to PocketGamer.biz's YouTube channel. Today we're doing our first time user experience, so we'll play a game for the first time, and the game we're first time user experiencing is Path of War. So just doing a bit of loading, we're getting a bit of backstory. Okay, so set in the near future, I guess. America's gone a bit wonky, and yeah, that's the environment we are operating in. Let's do my name. So interesting in that this game has been it's a new studio called Envision Entertainment, German studio, but they have a long history. They were Phenomic and then became EA Phenomic. And he worked on a whole bunch of PC and then browser strategy games. I guess most famously Command & Conquer Tiberian Alliance, which is still going, and they're still operating that one for EA. But this is their first mobile game. So I guess we're getting the kind of the rough kind of idea of what's going on in the base building thing. There is an interesting twist, but we're not going to get to that yet. So I build my shrapnel cannon, useful against infantry. So we've seen all this kind of stuff before. We can have an attack, I imagine. When we look around the screen, obviously we're in a kind of tutorial mode, so maybe there'll be less complicated than it would otherwise be. But we can see there's the top of hard currency, some iron looks like, and some, I don't know what that yellow thing is, something or other. We can free to speed that up. So we've got some cannons, the regime, and obviously the bad guys attacking our base. So we can see, now this is an enemy attack, but we can see that the enemy are attacking down the line. So kind of like, we think of like the kind of columns or lines into our base. And when we attack, we'll drop the enemies down, and they'll drop our units down, sorry. And they'll run along those kind of lines, so they can't kind of move left and right. We defended our base, got some... Well, we just defended our base, we haven't got any resources, I think. We got reward, a bit of hard currency, and build a training centre. So for people who've played strategy games, which is pretty much everyone, I guess, Command & Conquer and all that, you know, there are things you have to do. People expect for these strategy games to work in a certain way. So some of this will be pretty familiar because that's what you need to do for people who've played a lot of strategy games. So different command points, costing battles. Okay, these are my command points. You want to spend 8 steel to get 40 command points, seems fair. This is all stuff we've seen before. We're doing things and we're can speed them up with a bit of hard currency. And looks like there's some XP there. Okay, so we're going to do an attack now. Straight down the path there. So like strategy games we've seen in the past, you basically have to destroy the enemy's HQ. So this is their base, these are my guys. So I'm going to drop them on that line, they're going to attack that cannon, and then they're going to attack the base. So pretty straightforward. So as you get more complex into the game, you're going to start dropping units down, and they're going to make the defenders kind of move around, then you're going to block them, and you're going to kind of choose where and when to drop your units, so that's kind of part of the strategy of how to progress faster in this game and get resources and all the usual stuff that we know and love. So there we go. There I've got some iron, iron's up, and I've got some gold as well. All the command point stuff. I'm going back to my base. I'm part of the news. So you just kind of see this talking about Washington DC. That's kind of big part of the game. It's like the online side of the game. There's people having to fight their way to Washington, but that's a long way off at the moment. So it looks like we are. I don't know what we're doing. What are we doing? Doing another attack. So I guess I can drop them on this one. Here you go. There they go. This will be interesting. I may get killed by that cannon there, so that may not be so sensible. I've got quite a lot of guys there, so let's see what happens. So while this is looking a bit kind of Clash of Clans like, there's a lot more going on. Your base isn't fixed. You kind of move it across the US. This is this kind of thing to Washington. Okay, so that cannon can't see me. That's a bit of a dumb cannon. Drop those ones there. No. But I'm going to destroy that HQ and get all the resources. So yeah, so there's other kind of part which is the more, say, the online kind of side of the game. And another big part of the game, which I guess we probably won't get to in the tutorial, is the alliances. Alliances is a very part of the game. Although you don't have to, you can have an alliance of one. Oh, I'm going to do some more. Okay. So in this one, I'm not quite sure what to do. Let's drop some here. Okay. Oh. Okay, kind of getting the hang of it. So you can see these are pretty easy targets. It's not making light work of that. That speeds it up. Oh yeah, okay. There you go, it's useful. I guess it'd be useful to not to be able to hold that and just speed it up. Although the thinking behind this game is it's much more about when and where you place your troops, so you won't necessarily want to have it on full speed all the time. And more. So they're really going through this tutorial in terms of checking out whether I can work out how to place my troops. Okay, accelerate, learning. Just gets better and better, there we go. Again, I've got to do it again. Okay, slightly longer tutorial than I was used to. Okay, so I think we're just going to do the same thing, can't we? There we go. Overwhelm them, overwhelm the force with a wave of grenadiers. This will be a bit more interesting. Let's see who gets, if any of them get wiped out. So far so good. Oh, accelerate and let's do that, shall we? There we go. So I've unlocked this assault squad. Okay, good against infantry. So what's this? I've got some losses I can refill, so just seeing how the iron works. Okay. So I'm going to upgrade my headquarters. And use diamonds to speed up construction, you just receive even more diamonds in return. So that's, I wonder how long that will go on for. That's kind of interesting, isn't it? Obviously that only works because I was upgrading my HQ, I assume. Build some walls. Oh. Well, I didn't get many walls built there, did I? Okay, can't speed this one up. But obviously, yeah, I'm probably going to survive, I think. There we go. Another great victory from my base. Okay, so this is, we're not going to do much. This is, we're starting out, and this is the west coast of the US. But obviously, we haven't unlocked very much of it. Well, I can't see very much of it. So, okay, so there's two different sorts of. So there's no guns here, so I need to take out. Now we can see those guys are moving around. Now we can send in these guys. I've got loaded. There we go. So you can see here with the enemy moving around, the AI is trying to work out where the best kind of location to go is. So we can see how that's going to be. We'll start to get an idea how that's going to be important later on in the game when you've got tanks and aircraft and all that kind of stuff going in. Okay. This is a slightly longer tutorial than I thought it would be. I'm missing command points, so okay, that's to get my maximum amount of troops. So we've got some, and so we can see these guys are going to come bombing over, I expect. So let's put a whole bunch of others to there, and then we're going to run some of these guys right in the middle. Yeah, that's well. Okay. Okay, it's quite hard to show your tactics there. We've got some kind of overwhelming firepower. I probably created too many of the assault squad guys. Oh, you can see now. So okay, I'm actually getting units back again, so you can kind of reinforce your assault during the during the attack. That's kind of what they were saying about you need to maximise your command points. So now you can see in my base I can start to upgrade things as well. Okay, so I think we're getting an idea. I'm not going on too long. This is kind of a longer tutorial than I thought. You can see, so in terms of the online thing, we can't see very much of it. We can see that I'm protected at the moment. I can't be attacked by other people. We can see here. Okay, so it's a construction crane. So this is kind of quite an old-fashioned way of monetizing, where you come in Clash of Clans. You had the builder huts, or there's lots of different versions of that, where you can I can only do one thing at a time. So I can use card currency to kind of increase the amount of things I can do in parallel. It becomes important at certain parts of the game when you're resource heavy or resource rich, but time poor. So that's an interesting monetization kind of idea that they've gone back to kind of a bit of an old-fashioned way of doing it, or what seemed to be old-fashioned. So what else we've got? We've got the unit stuff here, haven't we? So we can see the kind of things. I'm still very early on. I'm not gone into the resource thing. We have oil, steel, power. Defence Academy, nuclear power plant, okay. Military stuff, so this is defensive, rocket launchers, anti-tank guns, the usual kind of stuff, that's all defensive. Here we've got mud and walls and barbed wire and tank traps. Okay, so that's the kind of resources we're looking at. Okay, so at the moment I think you would, yeah, it looks pretty nice as well. I think it's kind of shows it's different enough already at this early stage to the Clash of Clans type games. And as we'll play on in it, we'll find out it's actually going to be pretty different. But I think for the time being, we'll leave that for now. So this is Path of War. So it's published, developed by Envision Entertainment from Germany, and actually published by Nexon M, which is the American arm of the big kind of Korean Japanese publisher. They've had quite a bit of success last year with Dominations, which was I guess a more traditional kind of Clash of Clans game, but with a kind of civilization type theme on it, really. So cool. Just say don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. So we do a lot of analysis of free-to-play mobile games. We like to play them. We like to kind of talk about them. We like to see why they're different, why we can, I guess, kind of recommend them. I think this is a pretty good one if you're into this kind of, certainly if you're into strategy games. It's going to get a bit more kind of hardcore as you get into it. So particularly if you've been playing Clash of Clans and find it a bit boring after a while, or that kind of type of game, I think this is one to download and spend some hours with and see how you get on with it. Good. So I hope to see you soon. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe.